Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a lovely day, evening, wherever it is right now for you. And in today's video, there's like a hair. There's an invisible hair. Help. In today's video, we are going to be talking about my May TBR. And I totally dropped the ball on an April TBR, so here we are, getting the May TBR out of the way. So hopefully, you know, I don't drop the ball on like editing or anything. Okay, so the first two books that I would like to read in May are Valor and Ruin. This is books 2 and 3 of The Faithful and the Fallen. I have talked about these in my last like 4 videos. I don't even know at this point. If you don't know what they are about, I'm just going to link the card right here because I've literally talked about them too much. You probably don't care. Anyway, these are the 2 books that I'm hoping to read. I was supposed to read this in like March. Here we are in May. Maybe it's like an M thing. I'll get to it. I have this like weird thing where I have a really hard time like moving on from series. So I like to like finish everything. I get really like scarily dedicated to my series and finishing them. It's just such a good feeling, like wrapping up a story, wrapping up a world, and not having to like feel like I'm losing out on any of the information. So that is what I'm doing. I already feel like I lost quite a bit of the information from Malice because again it's going to be 2 months. Yeah, probably about 2 months since I've read Malice by the time I read this. So here we are, and I'm really going to try to finish up. And I'll have read everything by John Gwynne. Well, maybe not everything, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so there's only one more book after these 2. So I'm hoping that I can obviously just finish up the series in June. I'm working my way through the Stormlight Archives, so that's another series that I'm kind of trying to like throw in there and get through. There's just like quite a few trilogies that I have that I really want to get to this year as well. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll actually link it as well. It is the series I want to start this year. But as of right now, these are my 2 top priority. I won't pick up anything before I pick up these 2. So hopefully I can get through these giant books pretty quickly. Kind of carrying on with that same theme, I would like to read Iron Gold, which is the first like non-trilogy book in the Red Rising trilogy. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so it is just a Hunger Games in Space-esque type book. The first book, I mean, the Red Rising, and it kind of follows a couple characters. And again, I have talked about these books literally in my last like 4 videos, so I hope you don't hate me at this point. But this is one of the books I'm actually really curious about because I wasn't a huge fan of the voice or the style or necessarily like the characters. Characters is the wrong word. Like character development, character writing style from Pierce Brown. I was driven by the plot for these particular books. I didn't love Darrow. The only character I really enjoy is Severo, and even he is quite flawed, which is a good thing, but I'm just really excited because I don't know how long in between from the trilogy finished until he wrote this book. But I'm excited to see his probably writing improvement. I'm excited to see his development as a author, and hopefully he's going to give these characters just a bit more depth, like a bit more oomph behind them, which is really what I'm looking for. I really enjoy characters, like in general. I enjoy like sitting with them. I enjoy learning about them. I enjoy flawed characters, especially morally gray characters. Like, I love character-driven things. And I just feel like Pierce Brown really could have used just more development in his writing for these characters. But I also feel like it kind of takes away from the book because the books are like breakneck, the fastest paced books I have ever read. They make it really easy to like get through. But the series as a whole, I'm really excited to kind of, I mean, it's not part of the trilogy, but just kind of get to see where it goes. I know that he's currently writing the last book. There's going to be a total of 6 books, 3 that are the original trilogy, and then 3 that kind of follow these next generation, without giving too much away. So as of right now, this will be my, probably after these 2, probably the 3rd book that I'll pick up. And then the 4th book that I will pick up is Muse of Nightmares. I finished Strange the Dreamer like right before, was it the very beginning of March? I think it was the very beginning of March. I don't think I've talked about it actually on here. And I do have to say that I am like, there are so many thoughts that I feel like are really hard to kind of put in order here. But Strange the Dreamer was just one of those books that really, like, I was not expecting to love the book. I kind of went in and was like, I know that like this is literally people's like favorite book of all time. They love these books like more than anything ever, which I find fascinating. And so oftentimes I worry about reading really, really popular books, and I actually go into them probably with a lower expectation than I should. Oftentimes I struggle with like YA books. I don't typically love to read YA. I think I literally only own 3 YA books. And so I was just very nervous, like very restricted, and like I'm probably just not gonna like this book. Like just going in knowing that it's probably just not for me, like it's gonna be an easier read, those types of things. Let me tell you, I was so wrong. I was so wrong. And I will be the first to admit that I am so wrong. I think that she had the perfect amount of like, I think, flowery writing to make the characters just feel so like dainty, just feel so open, feel so real. Laszlo as a character is probably one of my most favorite characters like I've probably ever read. He's just so like kind, and he just makes me feel like he's a real person. Like he's a real person that I could meet in a library somewhere. And I was just so impressed with the whole thing. And I think actually the thing that really blew me away and the thing that makes Strange the Dreamer so incredible and so well loved is there's very few times where I feel like in somebody's lifetime that they read books that are solely and 100% unique, and their idea is 100% unique. It's not something that was pulled or took inspiration from something else. This was Laini Taylor's entire world on her own original idea. Everything about it was so original, and it just makes things so much more unique and so much more lovable because, again, there are so few times when you run into something that's completely unique, and she never pulled anything. I never thought while I was reading Strange the Dreamer, oh, this is just like this book. Never did I think that. The entire premise is just absolutely unique. I thought the romance was a little YA, if I'm honest. Little like love at first sight type thing. I know people are probably going to come for me for that because I know that it's just so beloved, but the ending totally got me. I kind of started to like, literally like the last like 3 or 4 chapters, I was like, oh no. So I'm really curious actually about this, like very curious how this story continues. That was a very long like ramble about Strange the Dreamer. But regardless, I'm really curious because where the first book leaves off is so unique, so interesting, so much conflict that needs to be solved, because I know that this is just a duology, so everything that happens needs to be done by the end of this book. And again, I think those are the 4 books that I'm planning on reading right now. I will probably throw in an audiobook. I don't know which audiobook. It could be any of them. These are the 5 books that I'm planning on reading in May, and it was so nice of you to join me here and watch this video today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!